All right, Mr. Boolani, can you tell us a time where a book or reading changed your life?
Yes, of course, absolutely. There are literally thousands of times where I feel this has been true. But I can think of one specifically, and I can tell you about it as briefly as possible. I was 20 years old, and I obviously had been reading for a while because I'd been in school for a long time, and at this point I'm a college student. And I started to feel something in myself about how I was moving through the world. And there were certain things in my life that I just didn't understand about who I was. And what I'm talking about is actually who I was as a Pakistani American and who I was as a person of color. And I remember very distinctly being on a bench near the coast. I'm from California, so I'm sitting on a coastal bench near the ocean, and I'm reading a book called Black Skins, White Mass by Frantz Fanon. And as I'm reading this book, I start to just kind of uncontrollably tear up. And I realize that as I'm reading it, the words on the page are describing moment by moment my own experiences. And that those questions that I had about who I was and what my purpose was in the world and who I was as a person of color started to unravel as I read the exact words that matched my situation. And so in that moment, I'll never forget it because it's such a weird thing to have words on a piece of paper, kind of dead in your hands, actually bring up all these emotions in you and make sense of your world through your very much alive eyes. And so in that way, I think reading, from that moment forward, I realized that reading literally can change the way you look at the world and thus the way you live in the world.